page from Sunday to this weekend? How do you think the team's mentality is kind of handling and dealing with kind of that, putting it behind them?
Yeah, I think a little bit of redemption is on our minds. We felt that we gave up 3 really avoidable goals, and it's really unfortunate to watch it in film, and they're really just elementary mistakes. And so to get back onto the field and correct those mistakes and play our game, create a lot of chances, is something that we're looking forward to doing.
We've had a lot of changes in the roster in the last couple of weeks, players out for injuries and whatnot and stuff. Do you think that's lending to the mistakes that we've been seeing and kind of those moments where it doesn't quite seem to be clicking?
It could potentially be that reason. Just a bit of rustiness in terms of players who, are coming back from international break and didn't really play with the national team, and they're now getting their chance here with us. It could be just a bunch of rustiness, some of the players not playing with one another, and not being able to be on the same page. But at the same time, I felt like offensively we created a lot, and we were really effective, I felt. In terms of scoring or putting ourselves in really good spots to score goals. And I think just on the counterattack is something that we lacked, and a bit of not using our soccer IQ and avoiding those little mistakes.
Well, and on that note, I mean, there's something positive that you can at least take away from the loss last week, but over the last couple of weeks, this team has not given up. They've fought till the end. What do you think that says about this group's heart and their desire to really compete and come out on top at the end of the season?
Well, I think it boils down to our franchise. I think over the last 4 or 5 years, at least since I've been part of the team, even if we've had a slow start or a plateau within the season, or a bit of a downslope, we find our way back, and we are resilient enough to get good results and figure it out towards the end, and that leads to the playoffs, and that's something that we hope to do this year and put ourselves in a good spot going into the playoffs.
Do you attribute some of the goals that you guys gave up last week to mental fatigue? Is that a thing?
Potentially, yeah. Just not following our markers. Just feeling like we're in an okay spot and not thinking the worst of the scenario, and following our runners, making a tackle, being frustrated, all of the above, the PK, the counterattack that we could have avoided, all those things can be put in that bubble. And in the end, if you're tired, you got to make up for it somehow, and whether that's a foul or the guy next to you is covering for you, that's something that we need to do more.
Then does that develop into communication, into allowing your teammate to know, like, hey, I'm going to need you to cover for me on the run up? And for you, as somebody who's played a lot of soccer this year, how are you managing those expectations?
Well, it's a bit of communication for sure. Telling someone that they need to be in the right spot, to block the passing lane, to follow their runner, or at the same time, it's being a bit of a leader and not necessarily saying anything, but doing the right things, and that's if you're a guy, if the guy next to you is not following the runner, then you got to do it. Sometimes you got to take one for the team and put your body on the line, even though you're tired, to figure it out. And unfortunately, we didn't have that this weekend, but we hope to have that this coming weekend against New England.
How much of the issues with communication is the fact that some of those players had not played together constantly, whether it was the back line, as well as you and Danny constantly playing there?
Yeah, I said it a little bit earlier. In terms of guys not playing with each other, and sometimes it's difficult because you have such a good understanding when there's a consistent lineup. You understand the guy next to you and their tendencies and what you expect from them in the game, and then sometimes if it doesn't happen, you get put in a pickle, and that's where communication is such a huge factor. Dictating where the person next to you should be, so that you either run less and you play as a team, or you stop the counter and tell that person to foul or something like that. But in the end, they were elementary mistakes. We could have avoided it.
I'm working on a story about the assistant coaches, and I know that you and Gonza have been tight for a while. How do you think that your guys' relationship has changed versus whenever you were peers and teammates to what he's doing now?
I think before, what's interesting is before I felt like when I was playing with him, he was more of a coach to me. Mentally, physically, body positionally. I mean, he coached me more than ever as a player, and now it's a mutual understanding. We both have the same philosophies. We both understand the tactics, and we want to implement it into the Sounders. And we talk a lot like coaches now. It's weird. We talk about what we want to see in training and our ideas and what we can implement into the game. But in the end, he's vital to our team, and he's the reason why we play out of the back so well, or keep possession and have attacking movements.
Sure.
How much
Focus on that was incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
how much attention do you guys pay to a potential new signing to a position that you're playing, and how do you manage that?
Well, I think for me, the way I see it is the team is getting better. Anytime you add another piece, it's obviously adding competition to the team. So trainings are going to be a lot better. You use it as a motivational factor. Like, this guy is not going to take my spot. We're going to play next to each other. We're going to do all the little things right. We're going to make each other better. And in the end, you wish that player nothing but the best, and hope it just makes our team better. But in the end, it is tough because there is it is a job, and your job is on the line, and it seems as though a player of that caliber that they're bringing to the team could potentially take your job. But I see it as a motivational piece, and just like when JJ coming in, or or other pieces to the puzzle are coming in, you gotta acknowledge them, respect them, but also compete with them.
What are the tactics going into this game?
Defensively, we need to be sharper. We work on that.
That starts with Jovan, right?
Yes.
One last question for you. What have you seen from Jordan Morris this year, kind of having to readjust to playing outside, but then when Raul's been out, he's had to swing back in up top, and dealing with that kind of inconsistency of having a solid place and mission for what he's supposed to be doing on the field?
Well, I think it comes natural when he plays up top. What the hardest piece for him is we're a team that likes to play to each other's feet. Jordan wants the ball into space, and sometimes we forget about his strength and playing in behind the line. And that's something that we need to understand when he plays up top. So I think it's more for the team. It's really difficult when changing from Raul to Jordan, because we have to understand each other's strengths, and playing in behind for Jordan is crucial. And then Raul, obviously, we'd probably play to feet and put him in a good spot inside the box. But I think finding the right balance for our team, not Jordan. I think Jordan does his part and is very effective, but our team trying to understand his strengths and play to it.
So I guess then to follow up on that, how challenging has it been, especially for like you guys on the mid or the outside backs, trying to adjust when it's Raul or Jordan and there's different formations?
Yeah, I think for me personally, being a little bit more vertical in some of my passes, and trying to play him in behind. Sometimes on a counterattack, we don't look to really go for it and to play forward as soon as we win the ball, and Jordan in the right position, playing 1v1 up top. I think that's something that we really need to look for when he is playing up top.